Chosen one, stop scrolling. This is not coincidence, this is not a game. Right now, invisible forces are racing toward your life, powerful enough to rip apart your peace, your health, even your destiny. But hear me, God has drawn a line for you. He's saying, shield yourself now, because I'm not only protecting you, I'm preparing to release $444 million into your life. Yes, millionaire destiny is knocking at your door. Will you claim it or let it slip away? Smash like, hit subscribe, and type comments to seal your protection and fortune. Chosen one, listen carefully, because this is not a drill. This is not coincidence. This is not another motivational pep talk you can have here and walk away from unchanged. No, this is your final warning, a direct and unmistakable transmission from the divine, arriving in your life like thunder crashing through the silence of the night. The words you are hearing right now have been carved into your timeline, delivered at this exact hour because God Himself decided you were ready. Ready to hear, ready to act, ready to claim. Even as you sit here, mysterious unseen forces are moving. They are not drifting lazily through the air like dust. They are not harmless breezes passing by. They are powerful, charged, disruptive energies, particles born from centuries of human sin, betrayal, and neglect of the sacred. These forces are speeding toward your life, toward your home, toward your very destiny. And they are not random. They are precise. They are targeted. They are coming for you because you are chosen. Do not think for a moment that this message is metaphorical or symbolic. The storm is real, though invisible. These particles, these unseen entities, are the kind that bypass human senses, the kind no microscope or machine can capture. Yet you can feel them pressing in. Have you not already noticed strange disruptions in your life? Restless nights when your mind won't quiet? Emotional swings that defy reason? Sudden setbacks that seem to come out of nowhere? Financial pressures that tighten around you like chains? That's the invasion beginning. That's the evidence you are already in its line of sight. And here's the most chilling part. If you ignore this warning, if you dismiss it as exaggeration or superstition, these energies will pierce through your peace, through your defenses, through your very future. They will slip into the cracks, erode your stability, confuse your mind, weaken your body, and block your blessings. What you thought was bad luck will multiply into chaos. What you thought was stress will become sickness. What you thought was a dry season will turn into drought. That's what happens when chosen ones fail to act. But, and lean into this, there is good news. God never points to danger without also revealing the way out. He never exposes the storm without also providing the shelter. Right now, alongside this warning, He has revealed a sacred solution, an emblem, a shield, a symbol that is not mere decoration, not superstition, not empty ritual, but a divine fortress. When you follow His command and prepare this shield, those harmful forces will stop dead in their tracks. They will slam against the wall of God's power and dissolve before they can touch your life. And here is where the message transforms from survival to abundance. Because the shield does more than block chaos, it unlocks provision. God is not only shielding you from harm, He is preparing to release favor into your life so great, so unimaginable, that it will redefine everything you thought was possible. He is not talking about a small blessing, not about scraps from the table, not about just enough to get by. No, He is speaking of wealth on a scale so vast it sounds impossible until you realize it's divine. God is preparing to release $444 million into your destiny. Yes, $444 million. Not $44, not $4,400, not even $4.4 million, but $444 million. Money so abundant it will wipe out debt forever. Wealth so massive it will secure your children's children. Provision so overwhelming it will feel like stepping into a dream. You will check your accounts and see numbers you never thought possible. You will sign deeds to properties you never imagined owning. You will hold keys to cars, homes, businesses, and ventures that were once fantasies. You will travel first class, dine in luxury, live in freedom, and more than that, you will bless others on a scale that shakes the world. Hospitals built, schools funded, foundations launched, communities healed. That's the level of abundance God is preparing for you. Why $444 million? Because in divine numerology, the number 444 represents angelic protection, stability, and foundation. It's the number of heaven's armies encamped around you. It's the code that signals divine alignment, protection, and provision in perfect harmony. God didn't choose 333 or 555. He chose 444, because this blessing is not fleeting. It's not unstable. It's not temporary. It's foundation wealth, legacy wealth, generational wealth, wealth that will not only bless you but outlive you. But here's the condition: you must act. You must obey. The shield of protection and the $444 million blessing are not automatic. They do not fall into the laps of the disobedient. They come to those who hear, who heed, who prepare, who declare, who align themselves with divine instruction. That is why this message is so urgent. The particles are moving closer with every second. The storm is building with every breath you take. The window to secure your shield and step into millionaire destiny is narrowing. Delay is dangerous. Hesitation is costly. Inaction is fatal. You may wonder, why me? Why now? Why is this message landing in your ears at this moment? Because you were marked from the beginning. You have endured struggles others could not survive. You've been tested in fire and refined in storms. You've cried tears no one else saw, carried burdens no one else knew, fought battles no one else understood, and through it all your light has remained, bruised but unbroken, weary but awake, scarred but shining. That light is why the particles attack you. That light is why the divine is speaking to you. That light is why $444 million has been reserved in heaven's storehouse with your name written on it. Chosen one, hear this in your soul. This is your final warning and your greatest opportunity. If you ignore it, you risk collapse. If you obey it, you inherit fortune. If you hesitate, you allow chaos to creep in. If you act, you unlock a destiny written before the foundations of the world. So, pause for a moment. Let the weight of this sink in. Let the urgency press against your heart. Let the possibility of $444 million stretch your imagination. Let the reality of the storm sharpen your resolve. Then decide, will you act? Will you rise? Will you claim the shield, the wealth, the inheritance? Or will you let it slip through your fingers while the particles tear at your life? This is the beginning. This is the call. This is the thunder. And chosen one, the time is now. Chosen one, now that you've heard the thunder of the final warning, it's time to understand the sacred solution. God never leaves his people defenseless. He never reveals danger without also providing the weapon to defeat it. Right now, as the invisible storm draws closer, as the particles race toward your home, God has handed you the blueprint for victory. It is the shield of protection, an ancient, powerful symbol meant to stand between you and the chaos. This is not decoration. It is not superstition. It is not a trinket to hang casually and forget. This emblem is a divine fortress. It is a living, spiritual barrier that halts destructive forces in their tracks. The moment it is placed at the threshold of your home, the atmosphere shifts. The air changes. The unseen realm takes notice. Forces that once had access now find themselves blocked. Darkness that once crept in without resistance now slams against a wall of light it cannot cross. Think about the door of your home for a moment. Every day you pass through it without thought. But in the spiritual world, that doorway is everything. It is the opening, the passageway where energy enters. If left unmarked, it becomes an easy entry point for harm. But when marked with God's shield, it becomes untouchable. It says to the particles, you shall not pass. It says to the storm, this house is off limits. It says to darkness, this family is covered. The shield comes with a companion, the salt locket. 2 parts, one external, one internal. One hangs at the front of your home, the other rests against your chest. Together, they form a complete circle of defense. Outside, the emblem blocks entry. Inside, the locket guards your body and spirit. The 2 shields working as one create a fortress so complete that no particle can penetrate. Why salt? Because salt is holy. From the beginning of time, salt has been used to purify, preserve, and protect. Its crystalline structure absorbs negativity. Its presence in water represents cleansing and renewal. Rock salt stands firm like a wall. Wet salt flows like living water. Combined, they create balance, solid defense, and constant renewal. When sealed into a locket and activated by faith, salt becomes more than a mineral. It becomes a spiritual weapon, a filter that catches darkness and dissolves it before it can strike. But let's be clear, the salt itself is not the power. The power comes from obedience. The salt is the tool. Obedience is the key. Without faith, it is just grains. With faith, it is a shield forged in heaven. With obedience, it becomes an unbreakable fortress. That's why preparation is sacred. You don't simply throw salt into a pouch. You prepare it prayerfully. You seal it with intention. You activate it with words that carry fire. And this is where your role becomes vital. Because you, chosen one, are not just the target, you are the warrior. Your shield is only as strong as your obedience. Your locket is only as powerful as your faith. When you obey the command to prepare it, you are not performing a ritual. You are aligning with a divine law. You are stepping into covenant. You are saying, I hear, I heed, I act. And when you do, heaven responds. Angels take position. Light encircles you. Darkness is repelled. The shield does more than protect. It transforms. The moment you put it in place, your home feels lighter. The heaviness lifts. Anxiety begins to dissolve. Nights become calmer. Arguments lose their edge. Peace flows through the walls. It's not psychological trickery, it's a spiritual reality. You are marking your territory in the unseen. You are drawing a line that no force of darkness can cross. And as you obey, something else begins to stir. The shield does not only block chaos, it unlocks abundance. God pairs protection with provision. He shields what he blesses, and he blesses what he shields. That's why this command carries with it the promise of $444 million in divine wealth. The shield at your door and the locket at your heart are not only barriers against harm, they are gates to blessing. They announce to the universe that you are aligned, prepared, ready to receive. Imagine this. Your shield is hung. Your locket is worn. Your declarations are spoken. Suddenly, small blessings begin to appear. Bills you worried about are covered. Opportunities arise unexpectedly. Money flows through channels you didn't see coming. These are not random. They are confirmations. Proof that the shield is active. Proof that provision is flowing. Proof that $444 million is not fantasy, but destiny. Chosen one, let me warn you again. To ignore this command is to invite disaster. To dismiss it is to leave your door open in the middle of a hurricane. Would you sit casually with the windows wide while winds tear through your home? Of course not. You would shut every opening, bolt every lock, guard every entry. That's what the shield is. It is you bolting your spiritual doors. It is you sealing your atmosphere. It is you saying, not here, not me, not my family. This is the sacred shield of protection. It is ancient. It is powerful. It is God's gift to you in this hour. Do not delay. Do not hesitate. Do not question. Obey. Prepare the salt. Seal the locket. Hang the emblem. Wear it close. Speak your declarations. Activate your shield. Because the storm is real. The particles are real. The threat is real. But so is the shield. So is the locket. So is the protection. And when you obey, when you act in faith, when you align with God's command, no force can penetrate. No darkness can prevail. No chaos can overtake you. Instead, peace will reign, light will shine, and abundance will flow. Chosen one, understand this clearly. The sacred shield is your first step into millionaire destiny. Protection is the doorway. Provision is the promise. Shield your home, guard your heart, and watch as God releases into your life not just safety, not just survival, but prosperity so vast that $444 million becomes your reality. Chosen one, now that you've seen the shield revealed, you must understand the other half of this message, the abundance. Because God never protects without also providing. He never builds walls without also filling the house. And He never asks for obedience without rewarding it beyond measure. Protection is the beginning, but provision is the destination. The divine has not only promised safety from chaos, He has prepared a flood of wealth so staggering that it can only be called miraculous. That promise is $444 million set aside for you. Pause and let that number sink in. $444 million. It is not random. It is not symbolic fluff. It is precise, intentional, chosen by God Himself. In divine numerology, 444 is the number of angelic presence, stability, and foundation. It represents heaven aligning with earth, armies of light surrounding the faithful, and abundance flowing with balance. When multiplied into $444 million, it signals generational wealth, legacy wealth, destiny wealth. This is not about a lottery ticket or fleeting riches. It is about establishing you as a steward of abundance so great it ripples across generations. Think of what $444 million means. No more debt ever. No more sleepless nights over bills. No more choosing between survival and dreams. Instead, you live in overflow. You give your children futures built on freedom, not fear. You bless your grandchildren with opportunities most can't imagine. You walk into dealerships, banks, and real estate offices without hesitation, knowing everything you need is already covered. Luxury becomes your new normal. Freedom becomes your foundation. Choice becomes your lifestyle. This is not fantasy, it is the inheritance of the chosen. But don't make the mistake of thinking this is selfish wealth. $444 million is not given so you can hoard. It's given so you can build. With this blessing, hospitals rise, schools open, communities are restored, churches expand, foundations are created, families are lifted out of poverty, generational curses of lack are shattered. This is kingdom-level abundance, meant not just for you but for everyone your life touches. You are not being blessed to sit back in isolation. You are being blessed to become a lighthouse, a distribution center of wealth, hope, and transformation. And yet, understand this: abundance follows alignment. This promise is not automatic. It does not land in the hands of the disobedient. It does not flow to the faithless. It is reserved for the chosen who hear, who obey, who prepare, who declare. That's why the shield matters. That's why the locket matters. That's why your declarations matter. Each act of obedience is like a key turning in a lock. Each prayer, each step, each word aligns you closer with the channel through which this wealth flows. You may already see signs of it: a bill mysteriously covered, a small refund check, an unexpected raise. These are not coincidences. They are whispers of the flood to come. They are previews of the $444 million miracle. They are confirmations that you are on the path, that the promise is real, that heaven is aligning channels of wealth with your life. Think back to your struggles for a moment. How many times did you cry over lack? How many nights did you wonder why others prospered while you felt stuck? How many times did you almost give up because the pressure was unbearable? Those weren't signs of abandonment. They were preparation. Every delay was divine timing. Every hardship was training. Every setback was shaping you into the person who could handle not just wealth, but destiny wealth. Because ordinary people collapse under the weight of extraordinary resources. But the chosen, they rise, they build, they bless. That is why the number is so large. $444 million is not small change. It is not a blessing you can waste on whims. It is a responsibility, a mantle, a mission. God releases this level of provision only into the hands of those who will steward it with wisdom, generosity, and vision. And you, chosen one, are one of them. That's why you've endured what you endured. That's why you've been tested so severely. That's why you've been refined in fire, because the size of your storm matches the size of your promise. Now, imagine your life when the $444 million arrives. Picture waking up in your dream home, paid in full. Picture opening your bank account and seeing more zeros than you can count. Picture handing your parents the retirement they deserve. Picture writing checks to charities that change lives. Picture traveling first class, dining in luxury, living without limits. Picture creating opportunities for others, jobs, scholarships, safe havens, and watching the ripple effect transform entire communities. That's what's waiting for you. And it begins with obedience. Hanging the emblem on your door is not just about protection, it is about declaration. Wearing the locket is not just about safety, it is about alignment. Each act says, I am ready, I am prepared, I am open to receive. And when God sees that readiness, He releases the blessing. He does not withhold, He does not tease. He pours out until your cup overflows. Chosen one, hear this clearly. The $444 million promise is not distant. It is not abstract. It is not someday. It is now. The door is opening. The flood is forming. The channels are aligning. And every second you delay, the particles creep closer. But every step of obedience pushes you further into alignment. Every declaration strengthens your shield. Every act of faith amplifies the flow. So stand tall, speak boldly, declare with fire, I am chosen, I am protected. I am the stewards of $444 million. It is mine. It is for my family. It is for my legacy. It is for God's glory. Say it until you believe it. Believe it until you see it. See it until you live it. Because, chosen one, this promise is written over your life. The shield blocks the storm. The obedience unlocks the wealth. And the abundance, the $444 million abundance, is yours to claim. Chosen one, pause for a moment and let this truth wash over you. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are not just another face in the crowd. From the very beginning, from the first breath you took, heaven placed a mark on your life. You have been chosen, and that calling has shaped every struggle, every victory, every tear, and every breakthrough you've experienced. The storms you endured, the nights you cried alone, the moments you nearly gave up, none of it was wasted. It was all preparation. Preparation for protection. Preparation for abundance. Preparation for the staggering promise of $444 million that now hovers over your destiny. Why you? Because your spirit is awake. Most people live asleep. They go through life numb to the deeper currents around them. They work, they spend, they sleep, and they repeat. They never notice the whispers in the silence, the tremors in the unseen, the quiet nudges of the divine. But you've always felt something more. You've sensed vibrations others ignored. You've carried dreams too big to explain. You felt the weight of a destiny pressing against your chest. That sensitivity, that awareness, that light is what sets you apart. And here lies the paradox. The very light that marks you also attracts the darkness. Like a lighthouse on a stormy coast, your radiance is a beacon. Ships in the night see you. Forces in the unseen realm see you. And yes, the particles rushing through the atmosphere see you. They are drawn to the flame of your spirit because your awakening threatens the shadows. Your obedience rattles the chains of darkness. Your rising breaks cycles that have lasted for generations. That is why you've been targeted. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong. Not because you are ordinary, but because you are extraordinary. Think about it. The battles you've fought haven't been small. The losses you've endured haven't been random. The resistance you've faced hasn't been coincidental. The size of your storm has always matched the size of your promise. Others may stumble and move on, but when you stumble, the attack intensifies. Why? Because you carry a future that terrifies the forces of darkness. You carry a destiny that stretches beyond your own life. You carry wealth, influence, and light that will ripple into eternity. That's why $444 million is your portion. It is not simply money. It is the reflection of the mantle on your life. This number is not chosen casually. It is divine confirmation that your calling is about more than survival. It's about foundation. 444 represents stability, protection, and structure. It is the number of heaven's armies encamped around you, of angels assigned to guard you, of alignment between the divine and the material. Multiply that into wealth, and you see what God is offering, not fleeting riches, but generational stability, legacy, abundance, resources that will not only transform your life, but build platforms that bless countless others. Understand this. Being chosen doesn't mean life is easier. Quite the opposite. It means your path is sharper, harder, more contested. Every act of faith provokes resistance. Every breakthrough is fought for. Every step forward requires more strength. But it also means the rewards are greater. The blessings are larger. The favor is undeniable. Ordinary people cannot carry $444 million because their foundation would crack under the weight. But you, refined by storms, strengthened by battles, awakened by struggle, you will. Chosen one, recall your history. The times you were almost crushed, yet you survived. The days when the weight felt unbearable, yet you rose again. The nights you wondered if God had forgotten you, only to find His hand guiding you through the darkness. All of it was shaping you, preparing you, forging you into someone capable of carrying the mantle of protection and abundance. You were not being punished, you were being trained. You were being refined like gold in fire. And now, the fire has made you unbreakable. But here's the responsibility. Chosen ones cannot afford to live carelessly. You cannot shrug off divine instruction. You cannot delay obedience. You cannot walk half in the light and half in the dark. Others may wander and get by, but you cannot. Your mantle demands vigilance. Your calling requires attention. Your destiny insists on obedience. The particles target you because your light is bright, but that same light will draw blessings so enormous that it will silence every storm you've faced. Remember, the shield and the locket are not small acts. They are your declaration to the universe. They say, I know who I am. I know I am chosen. I know I am protected. I know I am destined for $444 million in blessing. And when you declare it, everything shifts. Heaven responds. Darkness recoils. Provision flows. Do not let the enemy convince you otherwise. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too small. You are exactly where you are meant to be, on the edge of breakthrough, on the brink of abundance, on the threshold of destiny. Your name is written on the promise. Your hands are being prepared to carry the weight. Your heart is being enlarged to steward the overflow. Chosen one, lift your head, straighten your shoulders. Let the fire in your chest burn brighter. You are chosen because you are capable. You are chosen because you are trusted. You are chosen because you are destined to rise above storms, to inherit promises, to carry wealth that transforms not just your family, but the world around you. And now, the inheritance is near, the shield is waiting, the locket is calling, the abundance is aligning. The $444 million promise is already written in heaven's account with your name attached. All that remains is obedience. This is why you were chosen. This is why you endured. This is why you could not quit, no matter how much you wanted to. Because this is your moment. This is your season. This is your destiny. Chosen one, own it. Claim it. Live it. The world is about to see why you were chosen. Chosen one, now that you know why you were marked and set apart, it's time to look around and recognize the bigger picture. What you are facing is not isolated. It is not just about your home, your finances, or your family. It is part of a massive upheaval shaking the entire spiritual realm, a cleansing storm unlike anything humanity has ever experienced. The turbulence pressing into your life is connected to centuries of accumulated sin, betrayal, selfishness, and neglect of the divine. And now, that buildup is breaking apart, releasing into the atmosphere waves of destructive energy, the very particles rushing toward you. Picture the spiritual world as a vast ocean. For generations, humanity has poured poison into that ocean. Lies, greed, violence, hatred, cruelty. Each act, each word, each thought that strayed from love and truth has been like drops of oil spreading across the surface. At first, those stains seemed small, invisible, easy to ignore. But over time, they grew, they merged, they thickened into massive patches of darkness. And now, those toxic patches are rupturing, releasing their contents into the ether as highly charged particles. That's what this storm is. That's what you're feeling press against your spirit. This storm doesn't move like a hurricane you can see on radar. It doesn't roar like thunder or flash like lightning. It's silent, invisible, but devastating. It bypasses physical senses and strikes straight at the soul. It scrambles thoughts, unsettles emotions, drains energy, and twists circumstances into chaos. That's why you've seen arguments erupt without reason, why your sleep has been restless, why finances have felt blocked, why strange setbacks hit you one after another. These aren't random. They're the impact of the cleansing storm as it sweeps through. But do not mistake cleansing for punishment. God is not pouring this storm onto the chosen to destroy them. He is purging the atmosphere to heal creation itself. Think of fire burning through a forest, destructive at first, yet necessary to clear dead growth so new life can rise. Think of floods washing valleys, terrifying in the moment, yet cleansing the land of debris. That's what's happening in the spiritual realm. The accumulated filth of generations is being expelled, and those closest to the light, you, the chosen, feel it first. The question is not whether the storm is real. You already know it is. You've felt it. The question is whether you will endure it uncovered or stand strong behind God's shield. Because the storm will not pass you by out of pity. It is relentless. It seeks entry. It presses against your walls, your heart, your mind. Without the emblem at your door, without the locket at your chest, it will find cracks and slip through. And when it does, the consequences grow severe illness, despair, conflict, loss. But when you obey, when you hang the shield and wear the locket, you do more than survive the storm. You rise through it. You become a lighthouse, a fortress, a beacon of stability while the world swirls in chaos. People around you will wonder why you remain calm while they panic, why you prosper while they struggle, why you sleep peacefully while they toss and turn. They will see the difference and know you are covered, you are chosen, you are protected. And here's the divine paradox. The storm that threatened to destroy you is the same storm that will reveal you. The cleansing strips away illusions, burns out lies, and leaves only truth standing. When the dust clears, those who obeyed will shine brighter than ever. Those who prepared will inherit abundance unimaginable. And that's why, in the middle of the storm, God is pairing protection with provision. He's saying, shield yourself, because when this passes, I will pour out blessings so vast that the number will be $444 million. Think of that wealth as the rainbow after the flood, a covenant sign, a promise kept, not just money in your hand, but confirmation that your obedience through the storm has unlocked heaven's storehouses. That $444 million will not come by accident or luck. It will be the reward for faith, the harvest of endurance, the overflow for those who aligned when the winds howled. Chosen one, you've already endured much. You've already walked through seasons of lack, loss, and loneliness. But those seasons were not wasted, they were training. Every hardship built muscle. Every tear carved depth. Every delay sharpened patience. And now you are prepared not only to withstand the storm, but to inherit the abundance that follows it. That's why the number is so great. God is saying, you survived what others could not, so I am trusting you with what others cannot carry. The cleansing storm is real. The particles are real. The pressure is real. But so is your shield. So is your locket. So is your promise. And if you stand covered, you will not crumble. You will rise. You will inherit. You will walk into a future where chaos is behind you and prosperity is before you. This is not the time to fear. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to obey. Hang the shield. Wear the locket. Speak your declarations. Let the storm rage outside, because inside your home, inside your spirit, there will be peace. And when the storm passes, you will stand not empty-handed, but overflowing. Overflowing with wealth, overflowing with peace, overflowing with $444 million worth of divine provision, stability, and abundance. Chosen one, you are not called to be crushed by the storm. You are called to be revealed by it. Let it cleanse. Let it purge. Let it roar. Because on the other side, the inheritance is waiting. And it is not small, it is not partial, it is not temporary. It is the full promise, pressed down, shaken together, running over. And it has your name written on it, chosen one. Now that you understand the storm and the promise, you must learn the exact steps to prepare your shield. Because knowing the danger is not enough. Hearing the promise is not enough. You must act. You must obey. And obedience is practical. God gave you instructions not to confuse you, but to equip you. He said, prepare the salt, seal it, hang it, wear it. This is not superstition. It is covenant. It is faith in motion. It is your way of saying, I believe. I am ready. I claim my protection and my $444 million blessing. So, here is how you prepare the sacred locket. First, gather what you need. Pure rock salt, a small amount of wet salt, moist to symbolize renewal, a small secure container or locket you can wear, and another to hang at your doorway. Keep a clean white cloth nearby and a pen with a small piece of paper. These items are simple, yet when combined with faith, they become powerful. Step 1. Still yourself. Wash your hands. Quiet your mind. This is not busy work. This is holy work. Approach it as prayer. As you prepare, remember, the particles are pressing against your walls even now. Every moment matters. Take this seriously. Step 2. Write on the paper these words. Divine protection, divine provision, $444 million. Fold it 3 times. Why 3? Because 3 represents completion. Father, Son, Spirit. The fold seals the intention in covenant. Place the paper inside the container. Step 3. Mix the rock salt with a little wet salt. Feel the firmness of the rock salt. It is your defense. Feel the moisture of the wet salt. It is your cleansing. Together they represent strength and renewal, stability and flow. Place them carefully over the folded paper inside the locket. Close it tightly. Step 4. Wrap the locket briefly in the white cloth. Hold it to your chest. Pray aloud with conviction. Heavenly Father, I align with your command. Let this salt be more than salt. Let it be a shield of light, a fortress of protection, a barrier against the storm. I claim your promise of $444 million abundance. I am chosen. I am covered. I am ready to steward this blessing for your glory. Amen. This prayer activates the shield. The salt shifts from material to spiritual. The locket shifts from container to covenant. Now, chosen one, the locket must serve 2 purposes. 1 hangs at your front door. Place it where it can guard the threshold, the first line of entry. Every force that tries to cross will slam against it. The other locket must be worn around your neck, close to your chest. This is your personal shield. It covers your body, your mind, your spirit. It moves with you wherever you go. Together, the 2 create a fortress no particle can penetrate. But the locket is not self-sustaining. It requires daily activation. Each morning, place your hand over it and declare aloud, I am chosen. I am protected. God's light surrounds me. His power shields me. His abundance flows into me. The $444 million blessing is mine. It is here. It is now. Say it with fire. Say it with certainty. Say it until your spirit vibrates. Because words carry power. They shape reality. They summon angels. They strengthen shields. Your mouth is not empty. It is a sword. Use it. Each night before sleep, touch the locket and whisper, I rest under God's shield. I rise into abundance. This seals you through the night, when particles often press hardest. And if you must ever remove the locket to bathe, to rest, do so with reverence. Cleanse it before wearing it again. Cleanse yourself, too. Never treat it casually. Remember, this is not jewelry. It is not accessory. It is armor. Understand this. The power is not in the salt itself. The power is in your obedience. Without faith, it is just grains. With faith, it is a fortress. With obedience, it is impenetrable. With daily declarations, it radiates light that no storm can cross. And chosen one, the locket is more than protection. It is the trigger for abundance. God shields what He blesses, and He blesses what He shields. When you wear the locket and hang the emblem, you are not only blocking chaos, you are opening gates. Gates through which blessings flow. Gates through which opportunities appear. Gates through which $444 million is released. Imagine it. The moment you obey, you feel the shift. Restless nights grow peaceful. Anxiety loses grip. Small financial breakthroughs begin to appear. These are not coincidences. They are proof that the locket is working, that heaven is responding, that the abundance is aligning. Each step of obedience pulls the $444 million closer. Each declaration strengthens the channel. Each act of faith unlocks more of the promise. But ignore the locket, dismiss the shield, and you risk exposure. You leave your doors wide in the middle of the storm, and when the particles enter, they don't leave easily. They wreak havoc. Don't give them the chance. Chosen one, act now. Prepare the salt. Seal the locket. Hang it. Wear it. Declare it. This is your armor. This is your covenant. This is your entry point into protection and prosperity. And when the storm passes, you will not be broken. You will be standing. You will be shining. You will be holding the inheritance of $444 million that God reserved for you. Chosen one, once you have obeyed, once you have hung the emblem and wear the salt locket close to your chest, the shift will not remain hidden. You will see it. You will feel it. You will know beyond a shadow of doubt that the shield is alive and that provision is flowing. The signs will surround you subtle at first, then undeniable proof that you are covered, chosen, and already walking toward your $444 million inheritance. The first place you'll notice change is in the atmosphere of your home. Spaces that once felt heavy will feel lighter. Tension that used to rise suddenly will dissolve before it sparks. That strange feeling that something was always pressing against you, gone. You'll walk through your own doorway and feel peace greet you like an embrace. Even guests will notice, though they may not have words for it. They'll say, "It just feels calm here," or "There's something different about this house." That something different is your shield at work, halting particles at the threshold. Then your nights will transform. Restless tossing will quiet. Dreams that once terrified you may turn into visions of guidance. Instead of waking up drained, you'll wake restored, as if sleep has poured strength back into your bones. Those midnight hours when the storm tried hardest to press in will instead become moments of deep peace. And as you rest, your spirit will begin to absorb clarity. What felt confused will untangle. What felt foggy will sharpen. The particles once scrambled your soul, but now they are blocked. Emotionally, too, you'll see signs. Sudden waves of sadness or fear will no longer overwhelm you. They may attempt to rise, but they will pass quickly, unable to linger. Anger that once boiled without cause will cool. Anxiety will lose its grip. In its place, joy will return more easily. Calm will anchor you. Even when challenges arise, you'll notice you respond with steadiness rather than panic. These aren't coincidences. They are direct evidence that the shield and locket are dissolving what once slipped into your space. Financially, the signs grow even more clear. Bills you dreaded suddenly get handled. A small refund check appears. A raise you didn't expect lands in your lap. New opportunities begin to show up: a business idea, a connection, a contract. At first, they may seem small, but they are previews of the flood to come. They are signals that the channel of wealth has been unlocked. The shield blocks the storm, and immediately provision begins to flow. This is the rhythm of heaven. First protect, then prosper. And for some chosen ones, the signs will be overwhelming. God has spoken the number clearly: $444 million. This is not just symbolic. It is your destiny wealth, the kind of abundance that erases debt, establishes legacy, and funds streams bigger than yourself. For some, this amount may appear literally, through channels of finance so miraculous they can only be divine. For others, it may manifest in influence, assets, land, or resources equal to that value. But in every case, it will be undeniable. It will be proof that God not only shielded you from chaos, but released fortune into your hands. Relationships will shift too. Toxic people who drain you will quietly fall away. Friends or family who once resisted you may soften. New connections will arrive, people aligned with your purpose, allies for your mission, partners for your projects. The shield doesn't just repel particles, it repels negative influences. It creates a circle of light around you, attracting those who amplify your destiny and filtering out those who would sabotage it. Your body will also testify. That lingering fatigue, it lifts. Strange aches, they ease. Energy returns. You find yourself waking with vitality instead of exhaustion. Medical reports may even surprise you with sudden improvements. This is not coincidence. The particles that once attacked your health are blocked. The shield guards your spirit, but it also defends your physical body. But perhaps the most powerful sign is the one you feel deep inside: unshakable peace. Peace that makes no sense in the face of storms. Peace that holds steady while the world panics. Peace that whispers to you, you are chosen, you are covered, you are wealthy, you are free. This peace is the ultimate evidence. It is the signature of God's protection and provision written across your life. Yet, chosen one, take heed. Do not dismiss these signs as coincidence. Do not shrug and say, maybe I just got lucky. Gratitude is your responsibility. Every time you notice a shift, peace in your home, rest in your body, provision in your finances, give thanks. Speak it aloud. Thank you, Father, for my shield. Thank you for my $444 million blessing. Thank you for proving that I am chosen. Gratitude multiplies blessings. Doubt weakens them. Recognition strengthens them. And remember, your signs are not just for you. They are testimony for others. People will see your peace, your provision, your abundance, and they will ask, how? And you will tell them, because I obeyed, because I am chosen, because I followed God's command. Your obedience becomes inspiration. Your blessing becomes their encouragement. Your light becomes their guide. Chosen one, live in the signs. Watch closely. Record them. Celebrate them. Each one is proof that you are aligned, that the storm cannot touch you, that the wealth is flowing toward you. You will know it when you see arguments dissolve, when finances shift, when peace multiplies, when energy surges, when joy returns. These are not small. They are declarations from heaven. The shield is working. The blessing is real. The $444 million is on its way. You are not imagining this. You are living it. And the more you notice, the faster it accelerates. The storm cannot stop it. The particles cannot block it. The abundance is already moving, already aligning, already pressing against the doors of your life, waiting for your faith to fling them wide open. Chosen one, by now you understand the storm, the shield, the locket, the signs, and the promise. You've felt the urgency. You've tasted the previews. You know that protection is active and provision is flowing. But here is the truth many ignore. Abundance comes with responsibility. The $444 million blessing is not casual. It is not random. It is not given for selfish indulgence alone. It is legacy wealth, destiny wealth, covenant wealth. And God releases it only to those prepared to steward it with wisdom, generosity, and vision. Think about the size of this promise. $444 million. Do you realize how much responsibility is wrapped inside that number? With that level of blessing, you can transform not just your life, not just your family, but entire communities. Hospitals can be built, schools can be funded, orphanages can be sustained, businesses can be launched that provide jobs for hundreds. The poor can be fed, the sick can be healed, the hopeless can be lifted. This blessing is not only for comfort, it is for impact, it is for legacy, it is for eternity. God blesses to overflow, not so you can hoard, but so you can pour out. He makes you a river, not a reservoir, a conduit, not a container. When the $444 million enters your life, it is not just your personal miracle. It is a miracle for everyone you touch. And that is why stewardship is critical. Because without wisdom, wealth becomes waste. Without vision, abundance turns to vanity. Without generosity, provision rots into pride. So, how do you become a faithful steward? First, by recognizing the source. The money is not yours. It is God's. You are a trustee, not the owner. You are a manager, not the master. When you keep this truth at the center, pride cannot take root. You will walk humbly, knowing that the wealth was given for a purpose larger than yourself. Second, by building foundations. The number 444 itself represents stability, structure, and foundation. It means your wealth must be anchored. Don't treat $444 million as a sudden windfall to burn through. Treat it as an eternal seed. Establish structures that last, investments that grow, properties that endure, organizations that expand. Build legacy projects, schools, clinics, foundations that carry your name long after you're gone. Let your abundance outlive you. That's how chosen ones steward wealth. Third, by practicing generosity. Generosity must not be an afterthought. It must be a covenant. Decide now what percentage of your wealth will always be given away to the poor, to the church, to causes that heal the world. Whether it's 10%, 20 or more, make the vow before the blessing arrives. Because if you cannot give when you have little, you will not give when you have much. Set your heart in generosity now, so that when the flood of $444 million comes, your hands will already be open. Fourth, by staying pure. Wealth tests hearts. It magnifies whatever is already inside. If greed hides within, wealth will expose it. If pride lurks in the shadows, money will inflate it. But if humility and love are your foundation, abundance will multiply them. That's why your preparation has been so long and so painful, because God has been cleansing your heart, ensuring that when the millions arrive, they bless rather than break you. Fifth, by vision casting. Don't wait for the $444 million to plan. Begin dreaming now. Write down projects you would fund, lives you would touch, missions you would launch. See the impact clearly in your mind so that when the provision arrives, it flows directly into purpose. A steward with vision multiplies wealth. A steward without vision squanders it. And sixth, by remembering the promise is not just money. It's influence, it's authority, it's spiritual power. $444 million represents not only financial freedom, but divine alignment. It means doors will open in places you've never stepped. Leaders will seek your counsel. Nations will notice your impact. The blessing is currency, but it's also credibility. Steward, both with wisdom. Chosen one, let me be clear. The storm will test you, but the wealth will test you more. Storms refine your faith. Wealth refines your heart. Storms teach you to trust God. Wealth tests whether you will continue to trust Him when you lack nothing. That's why stewardship matters. Without it, abundance crumbles. With it, abundance multiplies. So prepare now. Decide who you will be with wealth before the wealth arrives. Choose humility over pride. Choose generosity over greed. Choose vision over vanity. Choose stewardship over squandering. If you do, the $444 million will not just pass through your hands, it will build legacies, heal nations, and echo into eternity. Imagine this future. You wake in your dream home, free from debt. You open your account and see $444 million sitting in balance. You smile, not because of what it buys, but because of what it builds. You walk through hospitals your money funded. You shake hands with students whose scholarships you paid. You visit communities fed by your foundations. You see lives transformed, and you know this is why God chose you. Not just to be rich, but to be a blessing. Not just to prosper, but to multiply prosperity. That's what stewardship looks like. That's what chosen ones do. And that's why the blessing is so large. Because God trusts you to carry it. God trusts you to use it well. God trusts you to become a lighthouse of abundance. So, chosen one, step into your role. Prepare your heart as much as you prepare your locket. Train your spirit to give as much as you train your hands to receive. Write your vision. Anchor your values. Establish your covenant of generosity. Because when the $444 million arrives, and it will, your stewardship will determine whether it becomes vanity or victory. You were not chosen for scraps. You were chosen for legacy. You were chosen for impact. You were chosen for $444 million. And now, the world waits to see how you will use it. Chosen one, the message has been delivered in full. You've heard the warning. You've seen the shield. You've learned the steps. You've felt the signs. And you've glimpsed the promise. You know by now this is not random. This is not coincidence. This is your moment, your final call to action. What you do in the next few hours will shape not just your survival through the storm, but your inheritance of abundance. This is the hour to move, to obey, to declare, and to claim what heaven has written over your name. The storm is not slowing down. The particles are still pressing forward. Each second you wait, they come closer, seeking cracks to slip through. But at the same time, the promise is not delayed. The flood of provision is already gathering. The river of abundance is already rising. The channels of wealth are already aligning. This is why urgency matters. Protection and provision are moving in tandem, and your obedience decides which one you experience first. Think of the emblem on your door. If you have not yet prepared it, do it now. Not tomorrow, not later, not when I have more time. Do it tonight. Hang the shield where it belongs. Mark your threshold so that no particle can cross. Let your home be sealed, covered, fortified. Imagine the storm raging outside while inside peace reigns. That peace is yours the moment you obey. Think of the locket around your neck. If you have not yet made it, prepare it now. Wear it close to your chest, near your heart, day and night. Do not treat it as jewelry. Treat it as armor. Place your hand over it each morning and declare with fire, I am chosen. I am protected. I am the steward of $444 million. I receive it now. Speak it until it resonates through your bones. Speak it until the particles retreat. Speak it until the provision flows. Think of your declarations. They are not empty words. They are your sword. Each one carves paths in the unseen, cutting down resistance, opening doors, summoning angels. Declare boldly. Do not whisper. Do not doubt. Say it as though you are already living it. I am free. I am covered. I am wealthy. I am the chosen steward of God's abundance. And think of your legacy. $444 million is not for small dreams. It is for foundations, hospitals, schools, missions, and families. It is for breaking generational curses and replacing them with generational blessings. It is for rewriting your family's story forever, but only if you step forward, only if you claim it, only if you rise into your role. The final call is simple. Act, obey, declare, claim, prepare. This is not fear-mongering. This is not superstition. This is sacred law. Heaven has spoken. The path has been revealed. The promise has been written. All that remains is your choice. Will you leave your door unguarded and your future unclaimed? Or will you hang the emblem, wear the locket, speak the words, and watch the storm dissolve before your eyes while abundance floods into your life? Chosen one, the choice is yours. But the blessing is real. The protection is real. The $444 million is real. The promise is waiting. The only question is, are you ready to step into it? If you are, then seal it right now. Do the 3 things that amplify your shield. Hit like on this message to declare your agreement. Subscribe to align yourself with the community of chosen ones worldwide. And drop 99 in the comments as your public covenant. When you type 99, you are not just writing numbers, you are sending a signal to the universe that you are ready, willing, and aligned. You are declaring to heaven, I claim my inheritance. I claim my shield. I claim my $444 million blessing. This is your last call, your final chance, your defining moment. The storm is near, but your shield is nearer. The chaos is loud, but your peace is louder. The particles are pressing, but your protection is impenetrable. And above all, the promise is undeniable. Chosen one, step into your destiny. Hang the emblem. Wear the locket. Speak your declarations. Seal your covenant. Walk boldly into the abundance prepared for you. Because the storm will pass, but your legacy will remain. And when it does, you will stand as proof to the world that obedience leads to protection. And protection leads to provision so vast it is counted not in thousands, not in millions, but in $444 million. The time is now. The call is clear. The choice is yours. Rise, chosen one. Claim your shield. Claim your wealth. Claim your destiny. Chosen one, you've heard the warning. You've seen the shield, and you know the promise. The storm is real, but so is your protection. And beyond that, God has marked you for a blessing so massive it could look like $444 million flooding into your destiny. This is not fantasy. This is your inheritance. The only question left is, will you act? Seal it now. Smash like as your declaration. Hit subscribe to stand with the chosen, and comment 99 below to anchor your covenant. This is your moment. Claim your shield. Claim your wealth. Claim your future.